Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning for the Pembrokeshire Marine Code Coastal Invertebrates training event. I am Alec Denny, the Sustainable Recreation Coordinator with Pembrokeshire Coastal Forum. The outline for this morning is I'm going to take the chance to introduce Pembrokeshire Coastal Forum and the Marine Code to give a background to the project, and then we'll be moving on to discover more about the hidden world of Pembrokeshire's coastal invertebrates with an incredible lineup of knowledgeable speakers. We have Vicky Squire from the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park, who'll be talking about the Pembrokeshire Coast from an insect's point of view and her People, Paths and Pollinators project. And we also have John Hudson, who is an ecological consultant, who'll be talking about the very elusive cricket on the beach. I'm looking forward to that one. I have popped in a little comfort break, sort of 5 minutes, comfort break then after John. And then we'll follow up with a talk from Claire Finn from the Bumblebee Conservation Trust. Just to let you know, this one is a pre-record. So Claire unfortunately was unable to make it today, but we managed to pre-record her talk. So I'll be airing that to yourselves. Followed by Liam, who will be talking about oil beetles from Bug Life. And last but definitely not least will be Sarah Bainan, Dr. Sarah Bainan from the St David's Bug Farm, who will be talking about the scarab beetles on the Pembrokeshire coast. We'll then have a chance at the end of the event, hopefully, if we've got enough time, to ask the panellists any questions and wrap up and be finished for 12:30. Okay. Just a little bit of online housekeeping. Just your microphones and videos should already be turned off, because it's a webinar. I just wanted to point you towards the Q&A function that should be found at the bottom of your screens. So we're wanting to use that. If you've got any questions for the panellists, pop them in there, please. And then depending on time, these will be asked live after each presentation, or we will be saving them till the end of the event and sort of presenting them to all the panellists. Also, the chat function is there, but we'd just like you to use that if you have any technical issues, use that freely, or any other general issues, use the chat function. And just to let you know that the presentations are being recorded, so will be available after the event, and we will send out where they'll be available on our YouTube channel after the event. So Pembrokeshire Coastal Forum is a community interest company which has the sustainable development of the coast at its core. It was actually born from disaster following the Sea Empress oil spill in 1996. Coastal authorities in Pembrokeshire recognised the need for an independent stakeholder-led organisation, and so PCF was developed to help deliver integrated coastal zone management. Interestingly, it is 25 years since the disaster this year, and we work to help protect and enhance the marine and coastal environment, its landscapes and seascapes, and rich biodiversity for current and future generations. We recognise that rural coastal locations such as Pembrokeshire face many challenges, including environmental change, demand for natural resources and lack of employment opportunities. And we develop collaborative projects that deliver groundbreaking solutions to these challenges, of which the Pembrokeshire Marine Code is one. I'm sure you'll all agree that our reasons for enjoying the coast are linked and driven by the quality of the environment and the wildlife it supports. And it sounds a bit dire, but unless this is protected, then we risk losing the very ecosystems that provide our livelihoods and enjoyment. So even with a network of statutory designations in place, shown by this image here, a voluntary approach to marine conservation can have a lasting and positive effect on an area. Because managing large marine areas with multiple access points and uses is challenging and requires significant resources. So the Marine Code took a voluntary approach with regards to reconciling the differences between stakeholders with contrasting opinions and statutory obligations. It was developed in 2002 with local wildlife boat operators and other organisations working closely with the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park Authority and the RSPB, and is a voluntary approach to minimising disturbance to marine wildlife. It was developed to promote a sustainable approach to the use of Pembrokeshire for outdoor activities within the marine environment, and it aims to limit disturbance and protect marine wildlife from increasing recreation and leisure pressures. So protect the amazing marine flora and fauna for which Pembrokeshire is renowned through voluntary codes of conduct and seasonal agreed access restrictions, but also realising the important role that marine and coastal tourism plays in Wales. We protect marine wildlife through codes of conduct for seals, seabirds and cetaceans. And with the seasonal restrictions, we produce temporal and spatial agreed access restrictions, which are shown as an example here on the map slide of Skomer Island. So the orange areas of seabird nesting enables people to plan ahead. It shows areas where seabirds nest between March and July. We've got seal pup areas in purple here, so that's restricted between August and November. And then seal and seabird areas in yellow between March and November. And it also shows slow areas where it's good to keep watercraft at a minimum speed to reduce disturbance for species such as cetaceans. So a Pembrokeshire Marine Code leaflet has been produced to advertise the code messages for the free leaflet. As well as specific species related codes of conduct, there are 3 general principles: plan ahead, keep your distance, and reduce speed and sound. There's also a sort of extra good one, plus an extra good one to know, which is knowing how to view wildlife responsibly. Maps have been created for 11 areas in total, which provide more detailed advice. And these areas were chosen in part for where sensitive species could encounter recreational activity, to provide more advice so people can plan ahead. These are close-up maps of the areas, and it's interesting, you know, the other areas are looking to adopt the same approach, because it's very good to have a visual approach to trying to reduce disturbance. Just a slide there of the marine, Wales's own marine conservation zone there. So we're looking to provide sort of positive advice to enjoy the wildlife of Pembrokeshire, to get out there and enjoy it, but in a responsible way, and have created communication and educational materials. So various different approaches and publications have been developed, incorporating these messages to be a helpful resource. So we've got the Marine Code buoys that have been placed around Coldy Island, wildlife fact sheets, tide tables, and a free mobile app. So about the Marine Code buoys, this project or approach continues to adapt. It's highlighted by the implementation of the Marine Code buoys, placed in 3 locations around Coldy Island. This is a new approach which was required to change behaviour out on the water, sort of aimed at personal watercraft users, and so a local toll boat company had noticed that there was quite a lot of possible disturbance around the island from, say, small pleasure craft. It was a Sustainable Development Fund bid with match provided by the toll boat operators, who insure and launch and retrieve and also store the buoys over winter, and has been, from what we believe, is the first use of navigational aids in this manner, as providing sort of a very visual message there. And it might not be the correct approach for other areas, but it seems to be working well around Coldy Island. So we say continued promotion of the code is required, materials with a market value to help support the long-term sustainability for the project. And over the years, a variety of methods have been used. These are the image there of the wildlife fact sheets. The A5 booklet has amazing insights into coastal animals, plants and geology. The codes of conduct are in there, and seasonal restriction maps. as well as information on invasive non-native species. And the Marine Code messages have also been integrated with useful tide tables for planning your fun days out on the coast. So these are smaller booklets. And if you know of a business who would like to support the Marine Code by stocking the tide tables or fact sheets, then please do get in touch with us. We have also created a free Marine Code app, so you can put the Marine Code along with interesting and fun wildlife facts at your fingertips by downloading the app, so available, say, on both Apple and Android. So that incorporates all the details, fun facts, say, about the flora, fauna, geology, and educational materials. Also has the seasonal restriction maps in there and the invasive non-native species. It's new for this year. We've put tide tables for Milford Haven that can be accessible through the app. So it's definitely, say, very handy app to have in your pocket. The quite interesting, or say funky functionality as well, if you have your location services on, if you're coming near to a restricted wildlife disturbance area, then it does actually buzzes through and lets you know that you're coming up to that area, and you can have a look and find out more information through the app. And we'd like to get people involved. You can report a wildlife sighting through the app, and the sightings are sent to the local record centre, West Wales Biodiversity Information Centre. This slide is just showing some images that have come through via the app, which is the oceanic pufferfish that was thought to be the first found on the coast of Wales, although it's deceased. It's not so great. But, and then there's just an image there that sort of can highlight the record of plastics in our seas. There's of course sort of mackerel there that's had a bit of plastic around there. I just wanted to show you this as well. Just this morning, one of the attendees actually to this event shared a great image with me here of a bloody-nosed, or two bloody-nosed beetles that were spotted along the coast. So this, yeah, to help, it's really great to have this image, and you can send that through our Marine Code app and the location of that species, and it would be really brilliant to have these as records. We can help the West Wales Biodiversity Information Centre with species distribution, and I'm sure presenters will let me know later on, but I think it's not only the rarer species that need recording, so ones that we think are more common as well. Still don't know enough about the insects around the coast, so don't be shy, basically. There's just a one thing here, sort of there's fun facts on the app. If anybody wanted to join in and pop in the chat, if anyone had any idea of what common lizards can survive without, use the chat if you wanted to pop down what you think. I will, there we go, someone has popped in the chat. Perfect, there we go. I'll give that to Gretchen. Yeah, that they can survive without their tail. And seal pups are weaned after a very short amount of time, and so they have to put on 2 kilograms a day, and it's actually just 3 weeks that they are with their mother and having milk. So that is really highlights how sort of disturbance during that time can really affect how they develop. And so a pertinent image for a talk later this morning. So it's it's a black oil beetle, and interestingly they secrete an oily substance from their knees as a defence mechanism, and I think Liam will be able to talk more about that later. And does anyone know about what's flour that you can use the sap from as paper glue? A couple of seconds if anyone had an idea in the chat. There we go, I will let you know, it's actually bluebells. So there's some interesting facts in the app to pass on to your friends and family. It's always great to have those bits of knowledge. And please feel free, in the 5 minutes break we have, that you can have a look and download it if you haven't already. So there's access to engaging information to enable you to effectively share it with your friends, family, your groups that you're taking out along the coast, if you're a, say, venture or activity provider. And as I said before, we'd like your help. So there are a variety of ways you can get involved so we can continue to get the important messages out there to help preserve the safety of Pembrokeshire's stunning wildlife for the enjoyment of everyone. So if you do know of a business, a local visitor attraction, for example, or accommodation provider who'd like to support the project and protection of marine wildlife by stocking, say, the tide tables or fact sheets, then please do get in touch with me. So that's an update about the Marine Code project.